The scourge of gender-based violence cases, with COVID-19 lockdown reports suggesting that cases of GBV went up. To take this discussion further, we are now joined to talk to us on this by Mr Patrick Shai, actor and founder of the organization Khuluma Ndoda that helps men fight against gender-based violence. Mr Shai, a very warm welcome to you. Thank you so very much for joining us here on SABC News this afternoon, sir.
Thank you for inviting me, Flo.
What's your reaction to the fact that, as we celebrate or commemorate, I'd rather say commemorate, as we commemorate Human Rights Day this year, that we're being told to pay particular attention to the issue of gender-based violence? This also paints a picture to me that the issue of gender-based violence has become such a big issue to the point that it's now, being linked to a national holiday of human rights.
I think we must first admit as a country that the violation of the rights of women, gender-based violence and femicide, it's a human rights issue. It's a violation of their rights. So it is quite fitting that we make sure that every day, 365 days a year, are campaigns for the rights of women and the protection of women and children. We should not wait for a calendar date to begin to talk about the scourge of gender-based violence. Every day, every hour, every man must stand up and say no to gender-based violence.
One of the issues I've always raised whenever we talk about gender-based violence is that a lot of these organizations are, sort of directed at women, the women that perhaps are abused and finding it difficult to leave, their abusive relationships. And I've always wondered, why are we not talking to the men? Why are we not telling them to stop abusing women? And I think that speaks to what you're trying to address at this time. Take us through the Khuluma Ndoda organization that you've started, and what you're doing with the organization. What is some of the work that you're doing, and how are you going about, I suppose, educating men, if one can put it that way?
Okay, yesterday, in us recognizing the Human Rights Day. Hello?
I can hear you, sir.
Partnered. Okay, we had partnered with the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture on a campaign called Khuluma Ndoda Dialogues, in which we invited men and women, but the focus was on men, to come and have a discussion on what are the actual causes of gender-based violence, domestic violence, and all the crimes committed against women and children by men. And we had a wonderful event in which they came out to say there are issues. They are complaining also about the fact that issues of not being able to report cases. We know that men are socialized not to speak out. Men are socialized not to come out. When they go to police stations, they are made a laughing stock. And when they get back home, they unleash their anger and all of that. But this is just a few. What we have to accept is that the behavior, Yamajita in general, has been demeaning to women. No woman in this country should be forced to live in a life of fear. No women, what we emphasized on Mabani with the campaign Yahuligani, we are saying men must come out and say, Huligani, it is incumbent upon us as men to stop gender-based violence. The president did say that gender-based violence and femicide, it is not a woman's problem. It is a man's problem. So it is men who must come together, call each other out and say, guys, let us stop this nonsense. Let us call each other out. If you hear of a story of incident of violence committed by a man, it is your responsibility to go to that man's house and make sure that this does not happen again. And we were saying to Majita Mawani, you have the right now the Constitution allows you in terms of the Domestic Violence Act. As an affected or interested party, you have the right to go and open a case on behalf of the victim. So men must take responsibility and work hard. We've caused a lot of harm on women, but a lot of other things that we are doing as Khuluma Ndoda. We do the one-on-one consultations with men who are in troubled relationships, with men who want to change. We acknowledge that it is difficult to change. When you change and you speak out, it comes with stigma and all of that. But we are that platform where men can come and call Patrick Shai on 072-722-1516 or go to our website and make an appointment for us to have an engagement as Majida one-on-one. And this has worked for quite a number of guys. So we're encouraging South Africans to say, come on, we are there. And you're talking to someone here who's been there, someone who's perpetrated violence against his wife, someone who by his action, his violence at home had an impact on his children. So I'm here to share with South African men to say it is possible to change. You too can stand up like me and say, Holy God, Khuluma Ndoda, take action against gender-based violence every day of your life, 365 days. Let gender-based violence not exist in your space, in your home. Be the champion, the agent of Khuluma Ndoda. We are working with various stakeholders. We have embarked on a community drive against gender-based violence because we are moving from that platform, my sister, where, at national level, we talk about these events that are not addressing the real people on the ground, the perpetrators. I'm looking forward to an event that we are planning next month where we're going to have perpetrators or would-be perpetrators who would be in conversation with us. And they will share their experiences with us. On yesterday's event.
Just in closing, sir, just as we wrap up very quickly, what was the turning point for you? I mean, you talk about, calling out each other as men, but, you seem to have called yourself out. And what was that process for you to a point where you even became an activism? What was an activist, pardon me. What was that turning point for you? Where did you get to that point of Khuluma?
Yeah, for me, coming to realize that my violence was hurting my wife, my violence was hurting my children, and I'm made in the image of God. Where did I get this outright entitlement to dictate to my wife how she must live and expose her to the kind of violence? I wanted to give my wife an opportunity to experience what it is like to have a loving husband, to give to my children, my boys and my daughter, an opportunity to experience the beautiful things of having a father they can trust and treat as a friend. This is why I wanted to change, to become a better person. And I think every South African man must take that opportunity. It does not cost much to change. It is the most wonderful thing to do, to change. Right. And I say to Majida, doing the right thing is the right thing for men to do.
All right, Mr. Patrick Shai, thank you so very much for giving us your input, and also much appreciated your honesty on these issues. It's very difficult, very rare to find men who are able to take accountability and share the truth about themselves. Thank you for that. Right, that's Patrick Shai, actor and founder of the organization Khuluma Ndoda that helps men to fight gender-based violence. All right, well, the main